Subscribe and click the bell icon for all the Bollywood updates.
Please welcome India's most loved radio host, the winner of Indian Radio Forum Awards 2018, Karan Johar. You guys look lovely sitting right here, but excuse me for making you stand up again so that we can have a quick photo op for the media here. Oops.
Yeah, come.
Can we come a little closer? Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Like 500 of the same.
Yeah.
We should do a calling thing. We should be like calling.
Oh yeah, calling?
We should be like, yeah?
We're calling you. Who you calling?
Okay, I don't know.
You don't know. You can't do it. You can't do it. We're calling you.
I don't know. Come on.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll have more opportunity. Fantastic. He will. Yes, yes. Okay. All right. All right. Fantastic. Let's do that.
Solo jao, kar lo. Man, go forward.
Wow.
How I would have felt otherwise.
You want your shoes.
Those are great shoes.
Joote khincho.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Time to now begin the Love Conference. And can I please have Malini Agarwal to take over the session?
Thank
I'll
you
be
so
off.
much. Thank you. You've been wonderful. I can't believe we're here on stage hosting a love conference. And I love it because they're two of my favorite things, radio and love. So I'm really excited to be here to talk to all of you. And hopefully you're going to tell me a few secrets, as Karan has probably got some out of you in the past as well. So this is season 2 coming up of Calling Karan, which is very exciting because I think you've pretty much now covered the gamut of things to do in life, right? Now this is like, radio is like the next level and it's the theater of the mind really. So tell us a little bit about what made you do it.
What made me do radio? I just feel like I should do everything.
Yeah.
And I think I'm pretty available at most given points of time. Being accessible and affable is part of my personality. And I just felt like radio would have a tremendous reach. And I do it for free anyway, giving people love advice. When you're single for that long in your life, you tend to kind of meet troubled couples all the time. Husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, boyfriends and boyfriends, girlfriends and girlfriends. And I think that I invariably land up giving copious amounts of advice. So I thought, why not get paid for it?
I love that. Can we give him a round of applause for that? Now, it's one thing to make movies about love, right? And it's another thing to experience love. But giving someone advice is a great responsibility.
It is.
Right?
And in fact, we have a disclaimer right at the beginning that I'm not a professionally trained individual like a therapist or a psychiatrist or somebody. So my advice should be taken at just at that level, knowing that I may be just giving you advice on a personal level and I'm not authorized to give you that advice. Having said that, when I give the advice, I don't pretend like I'm not authorized because I give very, very sincere advice and I've broken a few relationships.
Oh no, really? But it was meant to be. But do you ever give advice that came from your movies? Like there was a moment and do you ever reference them and say, is movie mein jaisa hua tha?
No. What we show in the movies is ridiculous. Are you mad? You can't possibly ruin people's life by giving those kind of situations. Those are meant for like PVR. But not for people like when you give legit advice, you have to kind of really get into the center of the situation and then, be very, and I take it very seriously. I take every call very seriously. I really get into it.
That's really important. And now we have a love conference, and today's love conference is an opportunity for everyone to actually get to know the people on the stage and really delve deep into their hearts. So Neha, I want to know, what is the worst piece of advice, of love advice that you were ever given? From Karan or otherwise?
From Karan.
Or in general?
No, Karan, I have to say that I remember calling Karan in season 1 and asking him this question that, Karan, I have Audio. Check, 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 check. Audio.
You gotta just pull it up.
No, it's fine now, I think.
Can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me? Okay, great. So I remember calling him in season 1 and asking him that my question was that should I go with a hot guy or should I go with the intelligent guy? And Karan was like, what a stupid question, go with a hot guy.
Yeah, what are you going to...
And then what happened?
Listen, it's intelligent to go with the hot guy.
Okay. And soon after that, I think the only audio.
Very rarely Neha's not heard. Hand mic दे दो इसको भैया.
No.
तो पहले ही कहा था handle.
Now can you hear me? Oh yeah, sorry.
Now Juhu can hear you.
And then when I was about to get married, the only person I think who knew apart from my parents was Karan. And I still remember I was like lying in his bedroom like that, like a lash, and I was like, Karan, what should I do? And he was like, just get married. What's the big deal? And I was like, can you simplify this for me? And he said the most beautiful thing. I know, he comes with this humor and all of that, but deep down, he's a hardcore romantic. As much as he doesn't like to admit it, he is. He likes the idea of it. And he said that, just treat this like the intermission of your life, like a movie is. And more often than not, the second half is usually better. And that was the best advice he's given me till date, or anybody has given me on love.
I believe, like you said, that you asked him whether you should go for someone who's intelligent or good looking. Now, recently, you got married. And I think Angad asked you, now, who am I, considering you gave her this advice? So, what did you say?
You're going to be talking about my husband.
Well, I'll just say Angad is good looking. I mean, it wasn't an either or, but he is good looking.
He is good looking. And there's a ... The rest of it you can hear on the next.
He married Neha. I mean, do you think I should think he's intelligent?
Oh, I thought he's going to say that he doesn't have to worry about anything because the intelligence department is taken care of by me.
Exactly,
But
that's what I meant.
I didn't know that it was going to be such a big
Because
insult.
isn't marriage all about balancing things? So you bring in the intelligence, he brings in the good looks.
No, that's fine. I mean, we'll give both to him.
I love that. Okay, now this is your opportunity, before we get further, deeper into the love conference, to ask Karan for a piece of love advice.
From me?
Yes.
Imtiaz is a master of love. I mean, he's somebody who can give advice.
If you were to ask Karan something.
There are so many things. There are so many things I'd like to ask Karan about love. And some of them are so filmy and mushy that I'd rather just like in the middle
Go
of the
for
night
it. You
send
know
me.
this audience will love it.
What's the relationship? Karan, this is like a DNM, okay? What's the relationship between self-love and love for someone else?
Oh, what's the relationship between self-love and love for someone else?
Do you have to be in love with yourself or not in love with yourself to be a better lover? Let's put it that way.
Oh, that is deep, Imtiaz. I think that, to put it simply, I can only talk about myself, is that I'm not somebody who's full of self-love. In fact, I have a lot of self-doubt. I have a lot of apprehensions about myself. In fact, I have low self-esteem issues when it comes to me in a relationship. That's why I think I tend to give much more to a relationship and invariably land up in a one-sided one because I have too much to offer. I think people who are full of themselves, and not full of themselves would be a negative connotation, but who genuinely love themselves, and sometimes with good and bad reason, I think they are incapable of extreme love. Because somewhere love is a selfless emotion. It cannot come with the baggage of your own self-love. Because then even when you love someone, you're so happy with yourself that you're loving someone, that you carry that feeling into the relationship, and it's all about you. And I think a true relationship has to be about us and you, not just me. It has to be about like two people.
Awesome.
I love that. In fact, that's what I've heard as well. Like, love isn't what you feel about someone else, it's what they make you feel about yourself.
And there are two differences, like loving yourself and being obsessive about yourself, therein also is a difference, You could like yourself, love yourself is fine, but if you're obsessively like all about you, like if you're like deeply a megalomaniac or obsessive about yourself, it's very difficult for you to contribute into a relationship.
Then you have to call Karan.
Then you have to call me.
I want to ask him another question. He just said that in the relationship that, in the marriage of Angad and Neha, he's the good-looking one.
Right.
What are you saying about Neha then?
Well, there's a difference between good looking and super sexy, right? Like he's good
Look
looking
at that.
and she's super
What a
sexy.
save.
Yeah.
Well, Neha has immense amount of sex appeal. I think that she does. She's tremendously hot, and from the time that I first met her to the time now, her intelligence is also a turn on, but also I think her voice and her curves that are invariably covered by tapestry. But she
I
has
knew
them.
this wasn't going to end well.
But you're hot, Neha, and you have to know that.
Thank you,
You have
Karan.
to own it, which you do quite a lot.
I'm shaking right now because I know this is. Are you done?
I'm
This
done.
is turning into a
What?
whole other show, huh, by the way.
Yeah,
That was a real compliment. Please, just clap. Just clap.
Well, I always ask Neha, because she's so gorgeous and stunning, why she wears like bed sheets, always. Like, I want to know why she's always Bed Bath and Beyond.
She wants people to imagine stuff.
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay, we have to move on
I
to
like
Ranvijay
that.
now.
As I cover up a little more.
So Ranvijay, your Instagram is just adorable to follow. Now, everyone would think of Ranvijay as this really macho, just like out there, roughing it out, but his Instagram is filled with the most adorable pictures of him and his wife.
Yeah.
And even their story, I think you met where both of you
That's
were not
my
drinking.
wife posting for me, by the way.
She's got your pass. I believe you met when you were both at a party and neither of you were drinking, and that's how you connected.
Yep.
So how, how does someone like you, who's really like got all these girls running after him, find that one and have this beautifully cute relationship? Because that's what all girls are looking for.
I'm from Punjab. And we've been brainwashed since we were young that if a girl's from London, you say yes. She's actually somebody who didn't know what I did. So in your question, you had a part where you said girls running behind you. After about 10, 12 years of being, doing what I do, I didn't know the agenda of women. I didn't know why they liked me. Was it my humor? Was it my chivalry? What was it? Because I didn't even need to do anything at times. And it's true.
Modest.
And then there was a time when I met this girl who didn't know what I did and started liking me for that present between the two of us, right? And over a period of months, she liked me for who I was, and it was very refreshing. And for me, I didn't even want to get married at one point, and when I met her, it just flipped, and my mom was like, "Main tenu kya si? Jado kudi aaugi." You know, so that's that, man. And we connect on different levels, and we're also, like you said, I'm the adventurous guide. She's just the opposite. She would never step into a tent. She's the luxury kind. So we are showing each other different things in the world. And I think that's why we're so attracted, and it's like, opposites attract.
I love that, and I'm sure you've seen so many variations of love stories, especially when people call you, right? And it's amazing that you're going to actually have a second season. Everyone knows the show is bold. You're super honest with people, right? But what was like the one call on Ishq 104.8 where you were like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, like you were stunned?
There were a couple of really strange calls. There was one man who called me and said that he had a girlfriend who he broke up with because he found a really hot girlfriend.
This is your advice, basically.
No, so this is what he told me.
Yeah.
Maybe it was my advice. So he found someone really hot. And he said, यार सब कुछ ठीक जा रहा था, बहुत hot है, लेकिन वो मेरी girlfriend जो hot है, वो नहाती नहीं है.
Oh no.
So I was like, हाँ? He said, हाँ, वो बिल्कुल नहीं नहाती, और मैंने बहुत बार उसे deodorant दिया, shampoo दिया, साबुन दिया, बहुत सारे hint pass किए, लेकिन she doesn't have a bath. मैंने उसको टिप बरसा पानी भी Google पे या YouTube पे दिखाया कि नहाती हुई देखो कितनी खूबसूरत लगती है लड़की, लेकिन फिर भी उसके बावजूद she was not having a bath. So that he had a very big problem that she was just not bathing. And he said, तो मैं क्या करूँ? I said, छोड़ दो. I said, what do you mean नहाती नहीं है? How can you be with someone who stinks on a daily basis? So he was like, हाँ मैं जब kiss करता हूँ तो बदबू आती है और ये. So I was like, तो बिल्कुल छोड़ दो. I said, क्यों छोड़ दिया तुमने पहले girlfriend? He said, ये hot निकले से hot what भूल जाओ. Hot का क्या फायदा अगर गंदी है? So he said, okay. Then he was the only follow-up call I got at the end of the season when we did the finale. He called and said, Arey, thank you. I left them. I've gone back to my girlfriend. At least she has a bath, and I'm happy. So I was like, chalo, very good. So I was quite perplexed initially because you don't realize. And there was this daughter-in-law who called me. She just got married, and she said, I've lied to my mother-in-law that I'm vegetarian. because actually he said, मैं चुप चुप के office में chicken खाती हूँ. So she said, but once from my dabba, the mother-in-law has found this haddi of the chicken. It was lying in the vegetarian dabba. So the mother-in-law's of course thrown this big fit. And she's saying, what do I do? So I said, what do you mean, what will you do? You either choose chicken or your husband, no? One of them, you must be loving one more than the other, then you decide. She was really, so there are problems like this that you would imagine are really not very large problems, but to them, it's the end of their life. Like, they were like, what do I do? Then, of course, there are the emotional ones and the ones that there was even a boy who rang me up, and it was quite, I mean, heartbreaking when he called me and said that, you know, Arey, I've got married, but I'm not interested in my wife, I'm gay. So I said, then why did you get married? So he says, no, but now she's getting upset, I don't want to have sex with her. So I was like, obviously she's going to get upset. I mean, she's going to blame herself that you're not, she's probably feeling all kinds of, you know, issues in her head. I said, you go and test. She thinks, no, mommy, papa ko kaise bolu, unka dil toot jayega. I said, what about your wife? I mean, like, you know, so there are also those grave situations that you address and handle those emotionally. Some are whack job calls, but some are also really intense, serious situations.
It's amazing that people are genuinely calling, you know, otherwise they'll always call with that one question, I'm in love with my best friend.
No, a lot of people like ask me and say, oh, are these made up? I'm like, not at all. These are legit calls with people with real issues. And the fact that they're talking to you, you feel obliged to give them the right kind of advice.
Also, can I just, because it's radio, it's easier for people to just call you and be truthful. Because you're not watching them on television. That's the kind of things that happen on like TV shows and stuff like that. You can't really sometimes say the truth. So that's why that medium is so effective.
But it's hysterical. Like some of the calls are just like, there are thousands. I mean, we don't have that kind of time. But like I get shocked. Like every time I put my, like literally my headphones off and I'm like, I can't believe that these people have these issues. Like it's really crazy.
Has anyone ever called you back and said that, you know, because you gave me this advice and I took it, and now everything has gotten sorted? Have you had a case like that?
No, I mean, a couple of them in the end called and thanked me for the advice. I go, while talking to me, they're all saying, oh, thank you, I never thought of that, and I feel very great about myself that I'm giving some copism.
After applying it in their lives?
After, yeah, of course. You know,
but has anyone also blamed you for the advice that you've given them?
Actually, I think they don't allow that access to come to me. I'm sure there are many of those
Thank
as
God.
well.
Clearly he's had a great track record, and that's why we're launching season 2. Yeah.
No, but I'm telling you, like there was this man who called me and he said, yaar, my mother doesn't leave me. She's always sitting on top of my head, and I just bitched the mother out. And I was like, you know, and then after 2 minutes, she said, Arey, inse baat karo, mere saamne bathi hui hai. And I'm like, why the hell are you calling me and asking me to give you advice about your mother who's clinging to you and whose mother sitting there? And she's saying, kaise laga mere bete ka problem? I was like, kaise laga hoga mere bete ka problem?
She must have told him.
Clearly she hasn't left him even then.
I'm like, what kind of mad people are there in this world?
So Imtiaz, everyone knows your, you know, the relationship you have with your audience of making these beautiful love stories and these characters that you create. Now, in this modern day, now you've got a Laila Majnu coming, the modern version. So what's going to be that story? What's different about this Laila Majnu?
About Laila Majnu, I guess you watch the film and then I'll ask you this question. But I think about young people, the most common mistake that all of us make is to think that they just want to have fun. I feel more and more that the younger generation, every coming younger generation is more and more interested in finding meaning. It's like, you know, so many people reach out because they just want something to hold on to. What was fun for the previous generation is not what they're looking for in their relationships. That's what I feel. I think that's been a big revelation for me. And in Laila Majnu, of course, there is, you know, the fact that a classic love story is eternal and it is relevant far more than, you know, the short lives of people like you and me. So that's the aspect that I wanted to explore about Laila and Majnu, because, and I do not obviously cater to the view that प्यार पहले ज़माने में हुआ करता था, अब तो सिर्फ Tinder होता है.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So now we're in the age of love, you know, love in the age of hashtags and love, and people are swiping right and they're doing all of that. So I'd love for each of you to give a piece of advice to this audience that is, you know, probably stuck in this phone trying to find the love of their life, you know, which we kind of come from a very different generation of finding love. So Ranvijay, would you like to begin?
Before I met my wife, there weren't these apps where you find people. Today, because we interact with a lot of young people on the shows that we do, for us to meet somebody, we had to have a conversation or work on a set, or you know, you need to meet people to know whether you like that person. Here people are just looking at people and doing this. We're like on a website, like products. Oh, I like this. I don't understand it. For me, a relationship of any kind, friendship, love, anything has to happen like we're human beings. We're supposed to interact with each other. So I don't understand. And we're not away from that generation. We're in the same generation. It's just that, like he said, they think they just want to have fun. Right now what's happening is you're so busy in your life. You have so many events. There are so many cultural things happening in India. You have so many places where you can watch content that you don't think you actually need physical compatibility. You're busy with your video games, you're busy with your phone, there's social media. But when these things die down, the thrill and the frill of these things, you actually need a human being to share and discuss your emotions. You can't do it with the TV or the screen. And that for young people is difficult to understand. That is what people say, with age and experience and time you learn. If they could learn from what we're saying, it'd be great. Sooner the better. But I've seen a lot of kids just, oh, I'm just having fun, and suddenly you're 35. And you're like, everybody's not as lucky as Neha and Angad. Well done, really.
In fact, Neha, I'd love your perception of this and your experience of it, because like Ranvir is saying, you're kind of crossover, you've been on social media a lot, and you actually use social media to announce your relationship. But what is your advice now, looking back at the way people also reacted, and would you share it again, and what's your advice?
You mean share the fact that I got married? I'm sorry.
I think a combination, a piece of advice to everyone about love, and then this is interesting that people reacted to you this way with the 600 messages.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that we're a different generation. Of course, we are the same generation. We're sort of 10 years too early. That's why we enjoyed the romance, and 10 years too late because we're not on those online dating apps. Now, the thing is that I've got nothing against it. People are using it. People are busy. Their lives are their phones. And if everything is pocket content, why not dating? Now, here's the thing. If they don't have time and they want to put themselves out there, and if they want to meet new and interesting people, why not? The question is, will I be able to do it? I don't think so. I'm a lot more sort of old school, orthodox, and I feel like it somewhere takes the romance out of it. But then when I hear stories saying, I ask people, how'd you meet? And they were like, oh, we met on an online dating app. And I'm just like, that's great. So there's a different kind of romance. But I feel like, it's like online shopping, and then you want to touch and feel a product before buying it. I'm the touch and feel kind. So yeah, it's literally that for me, if you know what I mean.
A whole picture being created in everyone's minds now about Angad. What about you, Karan?
I'm just telling you about Karan's shopping. He's an online shopper.
Yeah. But for clothes.
For clothes. And shoes.
And shoes.
I mean, of course, on Calling Karan, you're giving everyone very specific advice for their problems, but if there was a generic piece of advice for this swipe right generation, what would it be?
I mean, there's so much advice is very specific to a situation, but what I always say is that, don't be worried about breaking your heart or a broken heart, because I think there's something very strong about, like, even a broken heart. It can empower you in so many ways. And I think we get so terrified of, like, being heartbroken or being hurt, and that sometimes you stay away from the possibility of a relationship. But I feel it's fine because, it could, like I said earlier, it could completely empower you. And sometimes when something breaks, it solidifies you to a larger extent. And I think that I would tell anybody, like, just jump right into it. Yeah, it's fine. So what if you won't get reciprocated with the same amount of love? So what if sometimes the intensity doesn't match yours? But what you will go through, that feeling of love that you will feel, it will nurture you in many, many ways.
Yeah, no, and I absolutely agree with that. And you have to go through those experiences. Otherwise, you never learn how to love better. Until you have enough heartbreak, you'll never really improve who you are.
I think you haven't lived. Like, I think actors who haven't had broken hearts don't perform the way they should. I mean, I feel like go out there, just if you're a good actor, you must have had a broken heart. It's not possible otherwise. For you to kind of depict a certain amount of emotion on celluloid, sometimes your eyes do depict your heart story. And, I think many of them whose eyes speak volumes, they've been through that journey in life.
Absolutely, and you can see it, you can feel it when that happens.
Now you might get a call from a young budding actor saying, "Sir, मैं एक relationship में हूँ, कैसे तोड़ूं? मुझे दिल तोड़ना है, अच्छा actor बनना है."
But होना चाहिए, और I'm telling you it's happened, and I'm sure Imtiaz knows exactly, you know, what I'm sort of talking about. He's directed such amazing actors, and I think he's made such beautiful emotional narratives that you know that when an actor hasn't been through, just is touching the surface even in a scene, you know कि feeling नहीं है. Feeling नहीं क्योंकि कहाँ से आएगी? Feeling history से आती है.
And we also know that some people are actually, some actors are trying to go through that experience to
just
become
so that
better
to depict,
actors.
yeah. I think many of them actually do that purposely sometimes. I think they traumatize themselves only so that they can perform better.
And you know what I've always wanted to ask you? What happens next? You know, we always see the happy ending, and we get to that point, and then, you know, the end credits start rolling. But what happens next? What happens after Happily Ever After? And that's, I think, the piece missing. Kids. No, but so
That's it then, at the end of it.
If you were gonna tell the rest of that movie.
Yeah, for every movie it would be a different ever after. There's no ever after, I think. There's only just a changing scenario all the time. So I think for many movies I do have a thought that this is what would have happened, and none of them were actually better or so good rather than just putting the end where it was. So I am very happy that there was no time that you saw what happened in the relationship between Geet and Aditya, that is in Jab We Met. What happened in that relationship, and yeah, in Love Aajkal and so on and so forth. So it's never better than the end.
I think the great thing about being a filmmaker is that you can control the narrative to the way you like it. Like, I get asked so many times, like in Ae Dil Hai Mushkil, why did Anushka have cancer and why did she have to die? I'm like, she didn't love him, so in my way, I was like, kill her, you know, because it was in many ways it was a slice of my life, and I've been through that feeling. And sometimes you just wish that that person who doesn't give you love should die. So here I had the power of doing it. I killed her.
You know I want to ask this question to everyone, if you don't mind. And usually I've had a slight conversation about this with
Neha's a question.
No, that's fine. No, like I've had a little bit of a conversation with Karan about this, and I feel he's very bohemian when it comes to, you know, this aspect of being in love. I'm going to start with you, Ran. What, as far as you're concerned, what according to you is the ultimate deal breaker in a relationship, and so on and so forth?
Not taking a bath for one, 100%.
Sorry?
Not taking a bath, 100%. Great advice. Lying.
Lying.
You do anything, and if you know that I'm your guy, I'll be there, I'll get you out of the situation, or I'll try anything. But if you lie to me, then I'm not your guy. Simple.
My intention is not to spark off a debate, Karan, but would you be okay with that? Like, if you're... Yeah?
I have no problem.
So what would be a deal breaker for you?
I mean, I don't I don't want to sound, when you said bohemian, I'm not bohemian. I'm just more of a realist. And I think that sometimes you lie in relationships. You lie about, like, you know, sometimes even sexual infidelity, sometimes I feel should not be considered infidelity, because sometimes you slip in a moment. It doesn't
I want you to jump in.
It doesn't mean that you should break off your relationship because one of you had a sexual moment with somebody else. It happens.
Okay, question, Karan. Question for you. Why not? So sexual infidelity will not...
I'm saying it's situation specific. You have to go into why it happened, and if you own up to it and you chat about it, it doesn't mean you should end your relationship. Maybe it was something that you slipped and it happened in a moment, and it's fine. Things happen.
If it happens, don't lie about it. Let the other person decide what has to be done.
Yeah, but
don't lie about it.
Sometimes you have to lie also.
Would you be okay?
Not always. Sometimes you have to lie.
Here's the thing. If my wife lies about how many pounds she spent on a shoe because she doesn't want me to be upset with it,
oh no,
that's okay.
That's clever.
That's smart. That's actually smart. These, like my mom and everybody says, are white lies. It's okay. But if something like that happens, the first thing...
For example, let me give you a situation. She meets like an old friend.
Hey.
Suppose she met an old friend.
Hey. Suppose
she met an old friend and they had a vibe and they just spoke, but nothing happened. And you know, she had whatever. And you said, what did you do tonight? And she said, nothing. I stayed in. Now that is, she didn't do anything. So why should she lie and break your heart for no reason? Because nothing happened.
She should tell me she had a vibe. She should tell me.
Why are you becoming this Justice Chaudhary?
Because next time I won't send her there alone. No more vibing.
Arey nahi yaar. You also, even you are
I
allowed to
tell
lie
her.
once in a
I
while.
tell her.
No, I think
Thoda
so.
vibe
But
hai.
this Satyamev Jayate now that we can't come back now. This now we can.
Okay,
think
no,
it's
I'm gonna pass this on to Imtiaz. I'm gonna pass this to you. I'm gonna come to you, Malini, as well. So,
It would be nice if you come to Malini. She's meant to moderate this session.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go for it. It's a good
Not
question.
you.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
No,
Go for it.
I'm
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead.
okay. Sorry. So, Imtiaz, lying, sexual infidelity, or is it something else?
I think the only reason, the only deal breaker is the fact that you don't want to be with a person anymore.
Correct. I was just going to say that, falling out of love.
Yeah, if you fall out of love, then that's the only deal
That's
breaker.
a deal
Everything else, like whatever, floats the boat, I feel. Sometimes things that you think you will not pardon, you do, because you get to know the specifics of them. Sometimes you think that things are not important, but then when it happens, it becomes important. I think ultimately, if I were to ask myself honestly, if I want to be with a person, I'll be with her anyway.
And have you ever been in love with someone but still cheated on them?
No. I don't think it's possible, actually.
Right?
It's not. If you're in love,
I love Karan. You should have season
If you
12.
have that instinct, it has not happened. I mean, I would have liked my life to be richer in those aspects, but it's not very. So the few examples that I can think of, it hasn't happened to me, and I don't think it's possible. Maybe it is, and I'll tell Karan, help me. But
Arey nahi
not
hota
yet.
yaar. I'm telling you, you're a very role model type of people.
I think there's a mix of it, right?
Yes,
I think there's
Malini, please.
Honestly, I think there is a fine line about infidelity, but I think
You tell us,
respect,
Malini.
It's
Yes,
respect.
Malini, tell us.
What is
Yes,
your
Malini.
theory? We want to know.
Respect is the most important thing. Once the respect is gone, then it's over.
What?
If you disrespect.
No, but you respect
I'm
so
married.
many.
Is that it?
There's no
Ask
respect.
Ranvijay, there's no respect.
no
I
respect.
know.
No, sometimes.
Ask Priyanka,
I
there's
think
no
it's
respect.
I think in some layers also disrespect publicly, right? It might be that you have certain things that you've gone through. You've had a relationship which has gone through its ups and downs for reasons. But I think as soon as you start disrespecting the other person publicly, that means that you just don't care.
So is it okay to disrespect behind closed
No,
doors?
I think if you're able to have the conversation, I think that at some point, if you are not, like Karan is saying, if something happens and you're able to work through it, that's different. If you're just saying, well, deal with it, my way or the highway, that's different.
Karan?
I mean, I have all kinds of theories on relationships, and I think to sum this all up, that you'll
Okay,
find
well,
you'll find all kinds of perspectives, and I respect everyone's opinion. I just feel like I've spoken to so many couples and so many relationships, and I feel like we get very virtuous and very judgmental immediately. But like dive into the situation, find out what the details are, what happened, where the infidelity source is, why it happened, talk about it. There may be an inherent problem, discuss it. Don't end the relationship and walk out just because it's like, you cheated on me, I'm leaving you. It's not so simple. There is a
Eventually,
lot more.
everyone has their
And
own.
we live in the gray. We don't live in the black or white. We live in the gray. All of us have gray thoughts, gray actions, gray lives. And we cannot be judgmental of
50
others.
shades there,
Yeah,
basically.
we are many. Not the way 50 Shades of Grey has it. But I mean, we are like 1,000 shades of gray. Each one of us sitting in this auditorium and on stage.
Karen, coming back to the show, okay, I know that in season 1 you had some incredible callers and you also had some celebrity interaction. What was your most memorable?
Nothing really so memorable because one talks to celebrities at a given point of time. So it's not that I was like, oh my God, this one called me. Because like I wasn't jumping out of
You're
my...
breaking a heart. Please.
Yeah, yeah.
We all called you. Thanks,
No,
Karan.
I wasn't really jumping out of my undergarments when I got a call from a celebrity, but I was like, great, Nick Neha called, and I think you asked me a question, didn't you?
Yeah, I asked you a question,
did.
yes.
Yeah. So it was wonderful, thank you. And we had lots of amazing callers, and I had Sid, Varun, and Ale also acting cute and asking me very millennial love questions, which was fun. There were lots of those kind of like people, but there was nothing memorable, but it was a lot of fun. What was
sure.
memorable for me were the real life callers. I mean,
I'm
that
sure,
to me
yeah.
was amazing.
Are you ever going to use those situations, do you think, in a film?
Lots of them.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, it opens my head up. I would tell every filmmaker to get into that room once and just listen to those people and their problems, because truly, Imtiaz, and I say this with all earnestness, the kind of people and the lives they lead and what they say is extremely like enlightening.
But it must be really exhausting because it's a big responsibility.
That's
You
why I
don't
can't do
want
it for
to-
very long, no, because you're
Yeah,
really getting
exactly.
into each call. It's like you're playing therapist,
Yeah, yeah,
psychiatrist, mother, father, agent, everything. Yeah, you're just kind of like saying everything, like, you know, to them, and you take back some of their problems. Sometimes the heavy calls can really get to you as well.
And you know, I think if we're honest, like on this stage, people expect us to never, you know, confess or reveal anything about ourselves. So I'd like everyone here, and I'll do it as well, make a confession.
You start. We'll see the degree of confession also.
The degree of confession.
Confession kis bare mein? Like about what?
About love, something that you've experienced. Okay, I will start. So one of the things that I'm guilty of, and I think it happens in social media a lot, is actively stalking exes. And I think, yeah, right? How do you stop? And I think so a lot of people have actually asked me as well, saying, you know, I see this person, I try not to look. It's impossible, right? You can't go around blocking everything they do because it's going to pop up and it's going to hurt. I think the thing to remember then is that there's somebody else's problem. Now the problem is, and my confession is, while I was stalking an ex, I accidentally liked their picture, and then I had to unlike it. So this whole process is very obvious to everyone, and then there's no explaining that.
Okay, Neha, what do you want to... Tu bol.
मैं बोलूं? Okay, so all the men I dated, I never married, and the man I married, I never dated.
Oh, nice.
That's the confession. All the men, as in there weren't so many, but...
That's a very convenient confession to have.
But your all was not all. You're all the men.
Oh!
Do you have to wait till the show?
For Imtiaz, I don't know what to say. Because my confessions are dangerous.
Imtiaz is seeking.
I want to say mine before Karan's, because after that it'll be like...
Imtiaz's confession is seeking him.
Imtiaz, confess.
I'm thinking. There's nothing...
No pressure, huh?
Yeah.
There's no mistake I have not made in matters of love. Sometimes I wish that I was as wise as some of the characters of my film. These are not the confessions. This is like, I'd say them at any time, but I'm not as wise as many of the characters of my movies are. Maybe the fact that I don't get this feeling of being in love or understanding this concept at all, maybe I don't understand it at all, is the reason that I make films that are about love.
That's a good confession.
And it's not a smart thing to say. It would be nice like to hear this applause, but it's actually true for me.
Who's going to go next? Ranvijay or Karan?
Yeah,
I think we'll let Karan go last.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, I don't know what to say.
So many.
After having said what my problem is in a relationship, which is lying, I hope this doesn't, my wife doesn't really follow social media too much. Even if she does something of whatever that vibing was, and she lied, I know, like you said, because I'm in love with her, I'd let it go.
That's what I was trying to explain to you.
But I know for sure she won't. I will. And that's not okay with her. Because she thinks because it's okay with me to say I'll let it go, it should be okay for her also. But that's not true. But I know in my heart that I'll be okay. I won't be okay with it, but I'll let it go over a period of time. Don't tell her.
It's already been tweeted, sorry.
She's not on Twitter.
What do I admit to? I don't know. Do you have any suggestions?
Why are you sweating?
I don't know.
You're like,
No, because
don't tell them a real one. It's okay. Okay, don't sweat so much.
I'm not sweating. I just... Yeah, no, you can say it.
Can you, yes, say it on the mic.
You can say it.
You can
May
say
I?
his confession.
Yes.
You can say it.
Okay, so I'm going to confess on Karan's behalf, and this is a true story, that there was someone he was in love with, and he was flying from New York to London, and he broke up with that person because the only thing he had on his mind that time was that he was flying to London and he could only think of Selfridges. So he chose shopping over the love of his life.
It was not love of my life. It was
But,
a mild
yeah.
relationship. I just felt that I really wanted to buy those pair of shoes. So I mean,
It's as simple as that.
But that's...
this
is
meant,
no grey,
it
this
just
is
meant
black
that I
and white.
wasn't that deeply involved. And
Yeah.
I told you that story, and I can't believe that was the story you were going to tell everyone.
a
It was
good
not
one.
so. It was not a confession. It was a real life situation.
But Karan, so you've had so many guests on the show, and I think that you're very honest and you're quite raw about your answers. Anything that you said so far that you regret, that you're like, oh shit, I took that too far, especially about, you know, maybe a public figure?
No, I don't regret anything I said. Sometimes I think I get a little like upset with the situation, and I tend to get very, well, animated about my emotion at that point of time. And sometimes I feel like, why am I getting so involved, you know, in this situation? But like there was this man who just, actually I shouldn't talk about it, season 2. We'll talk about it later. I can't, because it's a situation that got me really upset. You'll probably hear the call in season 2.
So what, like, give us a couple of examples of the things that you think it's okay to call and ask. What is it that you encourage people to come and ask you?
Well, there are all kinds of, I mean, the one thing that I really realized this time, the deep amount of office romances that happen.
Really?
There's so many office romances, and some are hinging on even infidelity, some are like, then there's also like exploitation romances, and there is like, like boss and assistant romances, and then there is pushing the power button in office romance, and there are lots of office dynamics and workspace dynamics that come up a lot. And sometimes they are fun situations, some of them are really kind of tragic as well, when people feel that they just because, and what was interesting is once there was a woman who called, and a man actually called, sorry, and said that his female boss was like exploiting him, and I thought that was such a refreshing problem, because it's always the other way around, and I'm like, well done, whoever this woman was, and I was like, yeah, but I didn't say that, and he was really traumatized. He said, she keeps wanting to have sex with me, and I don't want to because I'm her junior, and I'm scared the word will get out. And sometimes some offices have policies against like people getting into romances.
Not sometimes,
Yeah,
every
it's actually,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, so there are,
All
I mean, I discovered that, I don't know, I suddenly started walking on the corridors of my own office wondering like what must be happening here, because I'm here, because I was like, I'm thinking it's a legit environment of people working, but clearly not. And sometimes, many a time when, people are missing from their like cabins, I now know what's happening.
So there's something I'd love to ask everyone here, because now, at some degree, I also feel like I'm a little older and wiser about relationships, right? What is one piece of advice that you wish you could go back and give yourself about love?
No advice at all. In fact, my only advice about love is please do not follow any advice at all. And I'm not saying there's to Karan's show, etc., but a broad stroke would be, like I wouldn't go back and give advice to myself at all.
Anyone else? Would you give yourself any advice? It might help people, so why not?
There have to be no parameters about falling in love. It could be anything. It could be anything that makes you fall in love. Once you have a problem there, then you call him. Call Karan.
Please call.
Neha?
I mean, I always, just the basic stuff, and I feel like most importantly in this day and age, everyone, after a certain point, they want to do their own thing. So I think space would be a good thing. Space and respect would be a good thing. But, I mean, I can go on and on. But right now, like Imtiaz said, there are no rules, and, I just have learned one thing about men is that, and this is just to all the women out there, and I know that the TG of this audience is a bit younger, that men have really fragile egos. Sometimes you really have to treat them like kids and be like, let them say
What do you mean
want.
by that?
Exactly.
How dare you?
And you just have to. You have to treat them with kid gloves, and you just be like, it's okay. And
मैं आज अंगद को फोन करने वाला हूँ right away. मेरे को बहुत सारी चीजें पता
It's
लगी.
important to make the demarcation between ego and self-respect.
Yeah.
And I think your ego should be flexible. Ego is the most unproductive emotion that exists
Exactly.
in the DNA of a human being. It should totally be flexible. But what you must totally hold on to is your self-respect. That is the fulcrum of a strong relationship. And the one thing that I would like everyone here in this auditorium and people who are listening or hearing whatever, is the one thing I would advise people to not do is PDA. It's the most unbearable thing when people are in a relationship. I'm like, get a room, go to the toilet, go to the washroom, do it in any other place, not in front of the whole world. We don't want to see you smothering each other's faces in public. It's really annoying.
I have to say,
have you
although I have
driven
to
by
say-
reclamation?
So basically the last few rows, समझ गए?
But I
Those
have to
guys
say
in the
it's
dark,
not-
we're going to put the
I
light
mean,
on you.
It's easy to say also on some degree, but there's a lot of people who don't have anywhere to go.
No, it may be so, and that I understand, but the people I've seen indulgent PD
They
have
have
many
something.
places to go. You know, and I want to tell you, why do you need to hold someone's hand also? Like what? They are fine. They can walk on their own. You know, why are you holding the hand? Unless you need to help them up the stairs or something. She has a bad knee or he has a bad foot or a broken knee. Why are you holding hands? Why are you kissing each other? Why are you playing with each other's hair?
I have a question
Wait
for
a minute.
Karan
I also
here.
have a
Why is it upsetting you so much?
It's bloody annoying. I'm like, listen,
Why?
keep it in your
Why?
pants.
Who do you call? Because you have problems. You got to call someone. Who do you call?
My conscience.
Oh. But so actually, exactly what you're saying. If I could give myself some advice, it would be don't be so clingy. So literally, I think.
Clingy is okay, chalo, that's exciting. As long as you're not literally physically clinging, that is very annoying. I want to wake up and slap those couples across their face. I can't tell you, I feel deep amounts of violence when I see couples.
Sounds like this season is going to be a little more aggressive. So what are you going to do? Is it going to be bolder? I've been told it's going to be more.
It is bolder,
intense.
it's bigger because it's bolder. It's the fact that we have a season 2 shows that there was love in season 1. Hopefully that's why we've been sanctioned with the season 2. And it's amazing. And I think the one thing that works in the show is the candidness and the honesty in which I think the way we try to give our advice as in the team and me specifically when I'm speaking to callers, I don't hold back at all. Like I'm not playing it safe. I'm saying it as is and hopefully the repercussions and ramifications are positive.
All right. Okay, I'm going to ask each one of you, if you were Karan and somebody was calling you, what do you think you would tell them if they just, I'm going to ask you each a question, okay? And then Karan can tell you if that's the same advice.
Oh, like answer as in we were Karan.
Yeah,
Okay.
as Karan would. Okay.
This feels like an exam now.
It's an exam, yeah, basically. So if someone called you and said that they are in love with their best friend's girlfriend, I don't know if you've got this question.
I know the answer. You want to finish the question or should I just
No,
jump
go for
in?
it.
Yeah. So best friend's girlfriend. So Karan would say that, listen, I think you should be completely honest and you should go for it if you're in love. Is she in love with you? And if the answer to that is yes, she's also turned around and said that, yeah, a couple of times she's in love with me. Then it would definitely be that be honest everywhere. Don't break 3 hearts, just break 1. That's the guy in the middle. And that's what Karan would say.
Wrong. I would say that's not cool.
What would you say?
Because, I mean, if he's your best friend and that's the girlfriend, then that's out of boundary. That is something that I don't. I think boundaries are very
yes, I know this
Interest-
answer.
Interest
Of course I
shuru-
know this.
That's
You
the
can't
exact thing.
break
How
the bro
did you
code.
even
Oh, I
get
forgot.
interested
Bro code.
how did you even get interested in your best friend's girlfriend? It shouldn't happen.
प्यार हो जाता है sometimes.
You're right.
But agar ho jata
Sometimes you
hai.
can get interested, yeah, or sometimes
No,
you're
but
human.
I'm saying agar
You
ho
could-
jata
you-
hai, then you should break
I
one
feel
heart
like
instead
you
of
have
3.
to just be very, you have to be clean cut that dynamic. It's not cool. It's not cool. You don't do that to your best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not, it doesn't happen. Sometimes it happens with like, I got a call with saying that I fell in love with my brother's girlfriend. I've got that as well, you know, and like, I'm like, that is not cool
That's
at
too
all.
much, yeah.
But there are weird people. I mean, the shit happens. You can fall in love, you can feel emotion, but you can't go through with it because that's where that willpower really comes in.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my advice. Thank
Yeah,
you.
but
No, it's perfect. Neha, yours is
You
wrong.
can't argue with the
but
answer.
I want to be
guys,
friends with you.
No, but Ran, in my defense, it's happened. Now what do? And if she's reciprocated also,
If
then...
she's reciprocated, then you must go and tell the best friend that tu kar kya raha hai?
No, but that's what I'm saying.
And why are you hanging around with this girl and you're not doing anything? You have to give him, you have to show him the aina.
But ये लड़के बेवकूफ होते हैं, उनको
ये
कुछ नहीं
लड़की
पता होता,
तेरे
वो
लिए
लड़की
सही
के साथ
नहीं
निकल
है।
जाते हैं।
Right? That girl's not good for my best friend also.
I just say कि वो डोरे डाल रही है मुझ पे, मैं भी डोरे डाल रहा हूँ, तो मुझे तो छोड़ दे, तू वहाँ से निकल ला.
Okay, option B. Give another question. I don't like being
Okay,
wrong.
no, I have to move on.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
she has a
Okay,
life.
if someone called you and said, look, they made a
If someone called me or called Karan.
Call Karan, sorry.
If I'm
As
Karan,
Karan, if you were
yeah.
Karan. If someone called and said, look, I made a commitment, I got married, I'm now like deeply in this relationship, but I'm done. I need to get out.
That's
What
a
would you say?
no-brainer. Karan would say, just move out. What's the question? What's the big
Correct.
deal? Just get out.
Exactly. You are right. That's what
I got the
would say.
tough one. Go.
Okay. Gosh, you're a tough one because now I know you have very specific beliefs. But okay, now you're answering as Karan. Okay? So if somebody called you and said that, look, I made a horrible mistake. In a moment, in a drunken party, I hooked up with someone, but it doesn't mean anything. Should I tell my partner or no?
No, don't tell.
Let him answer first.
Achha,
He's
sorry.
supposed to
Oh,
answer.
sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
it says wrap up there.
Check.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Jaldi bol.
But on my mic,
बेइज्जती होगी वो.
I have to. So he would definitely say if they're still in it and it's a mistake, he'll say don't tell. He would say that. Don't tell because it's in the past, it won't happen again, and you move on, don't break whoever's heart.
Yeah, I would totally say don't tell. There's no point in giving extra information. I think honesty is very overrated. I mean, please, there's no reason to be extra honest with your boyfriends and girlfriends. There's no need. For no rhyme or reason, why do you want to create a situation unless you're a drama queen or king and you're wanting that attention? Otherwise, thoda bahut yahan wahan kar liya to theek hai na. You don't have to go and give information. No,
All right. Finally, to wrap this up, because we have wrap-up written in front of us. Okay, so now we're in the age of Tinder profiles and all kinds of dating apps. And they ask you to answer some interesting questions, some pretty crazy ones. So I'm going to ask you each one, not the entire list, okay, and how you would answer it. Neha, you have to fill in your best physical attribute. They really ask these questions. It's true. I'm not lying.
It's not my face.
That's what you would say? All right. Karan, your quirky habit or skill?
My quirky habit. What is my quirky habit?
I can't.
No, don't. You really shouldn't. Quirky habit. I don't know. I'm trying to. What is my quirky habit?
But you have to say what's coming to your mind.
No. I'm really like. As in where?
When you decide it's for your dating profile.
In the bedroom, in the office, at home, where? You have to specify.
Why don't you guys tell us where do you want this quirky habit from?
Bedroom.
Saram nahi inko.
Obviously that was coming.
No, he's fidgety.
All right.
I'm just going to make it very PG-13 and say that I can type without looking.
Well, that could mean so many things. Okay, Imtiaz, for you, the title of your memoir.
He wasn't there.
Yes, it wasn't
Nice.
me. Okay, and finally, Ranvijay, the worst idea you ever had.
Coming on this panel.
Worst idea I ever had.
Having?
Why do I know so much about everyone?
Almost too much.
It's not a bad habit.
Worst idea I ever had.
Yeah.
Has to do with.
Yeah, in the sense that this is what's going to be representative of you on your dating profile.
On my dating profile, worst idea I had. You want to answer for me because you know me so well, like you were answering for.
I feel like I'm answering for everyone and getting into
No,
trouble.
answer for me. This will be easier. I haven't dated for 5 years. So I don't know.
Worst idea he ever had.
On my dating profile, what would it be?
Worst idea you ever had? Yeah. Why would
That's just
yeah,
how
he should
that's
write
how
his
dating-
on a dating profile the worst
Yes.
idea.
Yeah, that's what
so,
they ask you. Now, what would you say?
They do.
I'll
So
answer
you-
this.
you have to lie,
I'll answer this
basically.
is Ranvijay.
Yeah.
He's good on bikes, so he should probably write, I ride well.
Wow, all right. There you go. Well, that
I'm
was
just
a
saying
really-
it. I'm just saying it for him.
I'm getting visuals now.
I'm not.
On that note, of course,
Sorry.
we are leaving you with that visual. But last message from you, Karan, calling Karan, why they should be calling you.
You should call me because you're definitely going through a crisis, and I am going through a midlife crisis. So both of us could make a great team of crisis.
There you go, 104.8 FM, calling Karan. Thank you so much, guys. All right, and that's a wrap.
Thank you, guys. You were an amazing audience. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our panelists here. What a kick-ass session we had about learning about what you do and how you handle your own love life. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to have Karan stay back with me. Yeah, longer because I'm sure media wants to talk to you a little longer. But thank you so much, Malini. Thank you, Ranvijay. Thank you, Neha. Thank you, Imtiaz.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having us. Bye, guys.
Big round of applause, guys.
Yeah.
So all your media guys, we're just about to get started to answer all the questions that you could have. Just give us 2 minutes to settle down. And we'll be ready very soon. And we're ready.
on mic, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Just keep on
Do you want to take a seat?
Hello, hello.
Yeah. Awesome. That's your seat.
Oh, you have to sit down?
Yes. Now it's our time right here. Can I have the questions from the media coming up for Karan right here? Because I'm sure you all want to know about Calling Karan Season 2. Okay, solo. No? I think they just walked away. Do we have people in the audience who want to ask questions? I'm sure while we were listening to him, what he does. Yeah, all you audience out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly take, without falling off my skirt.
I just stand, yeah. Hala, what's your question? Will be fine.
Okay, can I get quick question? Who wants to? Can I get the mic somewhere? Who
Yeah, the
has
lady
mic here?
in the black and white. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Andrea Tanvi.
Hi, Andrea.
There's this one definition of love that's very common amongst us. That love means putting the other person's need above your own need. How far do you agree with that?
I don't think you should be in any imbalance situation, and what you're suggesting is an imbalance situation. Yeah. So there's no such thing as putting somebody else's needs. Why should his needs or her needs be more than yours? There should be an equal give and take where it comes to needs, desires, requirements, compatibility, etc. It comes from an equality. Equality is the basis of a strong relationship. Nobody should put anybody else's needs higher than theirs. Why should you? That itself imbalances a relationship, and an imbalanced relationship is an unsuccessful relationship.
Can I take one last question? All right, the lady in the black, will that be your choice?
Yeah.
Hi, Ritika.
Wait for the mic, Ritika.
Scream, it's fine, I can hear you. No, not all of them. I think one or two of them actually I flawed and fumbled with, and in retrospect, when I look back at some parts of those movies, I cringe and I feel terrible that I actually subjected an audience to those portions. But some of them got fortunate, some of them got lucky, and some other parts in that movie perhaps made them reach a certain success mark, but I'm not proud and happy with each and every one of them. In fact, I've yet to make a film that I entirely love.
I just tell you something. I love Ranbir Kapoor a lot.
That's a question?
No.
You like Ranbir Kapoor a lot?
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Can you please make him meet me someday?
Make him meet you someday?
Yeah.
No. You said I was raw. This is as raw as it gets. Not possible. Sorry.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you so much, Karan.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
One